So as we keep asking ourselves here on this program and out there where you are, should we stay the course in Afghanistan, or is it time we brought our troops home? Earlier I put that very question to Simon Jackman, an Australian-born professor of politics at America's Stanford University, who's been examining public attitudes towards the war and terror. Professor, with the number of dead Australians in Afghanistan now over 27, and something like two-thirds of the country opposed to our involvement there, should we be getting out?
That's a great question. A lot of people in this survey that we've been doing on behalf of the United States Study Centre, about 70% of our respondents are saying we're neither winning nor losing the war. There's not a lot of partisan acrimony about it, though. You get about similar numbers on the left, Labor supporters, similar numbers on the right. There doesn't seem to be a big cry.
So are the governments in both countries behind the people then? The people want out, the governments want to stay in. What's all that about?
It's just not rating as an issue. The economy in the United States, rating as the most important problem over there.
Right.
Similar message we're getting in the Australian data. And now, this recent uptick in casualties here among Australian troops over in Afghanistan, that may change the picture a little.
But the fact that it's not rating as an issue shouldn't be the way they make decisions on whether they leave people there to die, if you like.
There is the moral question and there's the political question.
Yeah.
The way this polling data is shaking out at the moment, there seems to be a consensus among people on the left of Australian politics and people on the right that they will tolerate this for the time being. Now, we were in the field 2 weeks ago and it's been a bad 2 weeks for Australian troops over there. But for the time being, it would seem, we're in one of these situations where you've got no great voice saying let's pull out now,
right,
and an issue that is actually, in the bigger scheme of things, as tragic as these deaths are, rating pretty down there, way behind the economy and the budget deficit.
What's in it then for the politicians not to get out? I mean, the Americans are talking about reducing their troop numbers. We're not. They're still talking about staying there until the so-called job is done, whatever that means. What's in it politically for them? As a political scientist, what's in it for them to stay there when people are against it, guys are dying? It's not really part of the war on terror.
This is one of these issues where questions about national prestige start to kick in, where I think for the United States and its allies, it would be a supreme loss of face to turn and hand Afghanistan back. And by the way, no one, thinks that 2014 deadline is realistic either.
What do you think it is? I know you talk about what you call a small W, small T war on terror. You actually think it's going to drag on and on and on in one form or other, with or without the same number of troops, but probably still with more deaths.
One of the interesting messages we got from our survey data on that, by the way, is about two-thirds of Australians think this war on terror is never going to end. We're fighting into a stalemate situation, and we're going to contain terror, I think, through perhaps not as big a military footprint as we've had in the first 10 years since 9/11, but I think we're going to be seeing interventionist foreign policy from time to time. Perhaps there's not a bigger footprint as we've had in Iraq and Afghanistan, but certainly the domestic security arrangements we've all grown used to since 9/11, they're going to be with us for the foreseeable future. On Afghanistan in particular, I think we're in there for the long haul. We'll call it something else, post-2014, the end of combat operations.
So you think we go beyond
like
2014?
Absolutely. And indeed, think of a place where the US has intervened militarily and come out well, where there aren't still US troops there. Korea, Japan, Germany. I think we're going to have a presence, a coalition presence, involving Australian troops in Afghanistan for some time to come.
So if you're one of those, two-thirds of Australians who want us to get out of there, basically what you're saying is don't hold your breath.
Don't hold your breath.